Well, every Monday we like to find new ways to get healthy. So joining me today is Rebekkah Lucero. She's an RN at Portneuf Medical Center. Becky, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So one key thing when we're talking about healthy and, you know, kind of a healthy lifestyle, some healthy habits we can have, a big thing is watching our salt intake and some of its effects on our heart health. Just kind of talk to us about that and why that's something that's so important.
Yeah, so salt it's important in our diet, but we need actually very little salt intake, and the average American eats about twice as much salt as they should, at least. And then eating salt makes us hold on to fluid, and so it can raise our blood pressure. If you have heart failure, it's really hard on you. It holds on to fluid and you'll have fluid overload, which is harder on your heart.
Okay, and I know, there's sodium in pretty much everything that we look at, but what are some of the biggest culprits in our food and diet that have a high level of sodium?
Yeah, so a lot of packaged foods, processed meats like luncheon meats, hot dogs, that kind of thing. Obviously chips, people know, the salty snacks, but canned foods are a big culprit, high salt in your diet, and then just cooking with lots of salt. We want to avoid that.
Okay, so for people that really want to watch their salt intake, what is kind of a good rule of thumb, a good level of salt intake that they should kind of keep an eye on?
So we recommend under 2 grams of salt a day, of sodium a day, I should say. And so if you want to check food labels, sometimes it's hard to keep track, but everything that's packaged will tell you how much sodium is in each item. And just make sure you watch the serving sizes, because you might say, oh, this serving of chips only has so many grams of salt or milligrams of salt, but then you eat 3 servings. So
right, okay. Yep. And what is kind of an average amount of sodium in some pretty typical foods for people? I mean, is it easy to watch those salt levels with some of your basic foods, or can it be kind of tough?
I think it's easy if you eat packaged items, but we're advocating for not eating packaged items. So I would say you're probably going to be safe if you avoid eating packaged foods. Don't put a lot of salt in the things that you're cooking. Find other ways to flavor your foods.
Okay. Any other tips or advice for people as far as kind of watching that salt and their sodium intake?
One final tip, a lot of us eat out a lot, and restaurants are also, even fast food, but even other restaurants put a lot of salt in the food. So if you do want to go eat out, I would recommend talking to your waiter waitress about what options they have that are lower salt.
Okay, Becky, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.